Morning, Bookus. How you doing? I know I said morning. It's like 11:14 a.m. here. Okay, we'll call it almost afternoon, right? So how you doing today? Just gonna do some chilling and some bug fixing and see where I end up. I was working on a chat program, so got the basics of it there. It's not real secure yet or anything like that, but basics are there. We'll keep on securing it as we go, but it's something. It's definitely something. Yeah, just checking out what I got here. Okay, having some cores issues with. Here, okay, you. I've been doing pretty good. I've been working on a demo for somebody, and so that kind of took a little time away from streaming for about a week or two. But I'm back. We got past the demo, and so now it's just time to keep on plugging along and seeing if I can't, just get some stuff fixed here, do some bug fixing, see, I don't know, just see where we go, right? It's the typical stuff. I noticed a couple things, especially with the multiplayer. We brought on new issues, so just going to see if I can't tackle a couple. One of them is, this is kind of interesting, but if I start the scene and two people load up, I'm going to refresh both my screens here at the exact same time. What happens is when they're in the exact same position, the built-in collision system automatically makes them kind of rise. Well, because they're colliding with each other and they are sitting on the exact same point, the collision never ends, and they just slowly start climbing until you move one of the characters. So, that's not great. So we'll see what we can do with it. But yeah, watch this. It's already starting to climb. See, I'm leaving the ground. And if you just leave it there, it will keep on going until somebody moves. So instead of doing that, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to randomly take your starting position, and I'm going to randomly offset you when you come into a scene. Because see, now it's basically two characters in the exact same position when they enter the scene. And see, it's just rising slowly. And if I move, I drop to the ground, and then so do they. So then from then on out, we're good to go. The other thing is, okay, so now I do have this chat in place, so the chat's kind of cool. If you move your mouse over somebody, it'll say click to chat, and if you do, it says you send a chat request. The other person gets a little box that says accept or decline. If they accept, then basically you're chatting. Yay. And just like you would expect it to work. So the chat is in place, the chat does work. And if I close it out, the other person even gets a message saying that I've left the chat. So good to know. Good, it's working. And we have the basics in place. Couple things we'll be adding. We'll do some parent controls we'll have to check some birthdays or something like that. Do some parent controls so kids can't use the chat. They'll only be able to select from some drop-down lists of what they can say or receive. It'll be a friendly way that they can say hi and want to play a game or bye or follow me or, some basic commands. But thank you, Buckus. Appreciate it. Yeah. That was a little bit of work, but not too bad. What it all boils down to is this. I wanted to separate two different things. We have a move thing for the... we have a move piece, a channel, so that we're tracking all the movements of the different people in each thing. So therefore there's a room for each one of the scenes that you can be in. And then we have the chat, which is also it's its own channel working off the same server, but basically you can have many chat rooms. It is also still double checking independent that you're in the same scene. So I have a little bit of safety things in place, but there'll be more by the time I'm done. Coding on the back end of that, I'll be validating things. Because basically since it's JavaScript, somebody can hack and change what they're sending, but I want to make sure that it's friendly on the receiving side and that it validates it so that, it's whatever you receive is what's most important. So validation's done more on the receiving side than the sending. A little bit on the sending, more on the receiving. Okay, so let's see. But let's start with this place where we join into a scene. Let's see, what can I do here? Trying to think of where it is that I join into a scene. It would be when I call the add avatar, it sets the position, I believe. Let's see how many million find add avatar items I have, right? Function, that's the function. Here's where I'm calling it. That ain't it. It'd be one of these two right here that call the function, and then so once I have the avatar, it sets the parent. Simplify this. Add avatar, and it'll be WTW when I call it. I just want to see where it's called from. There it is. There's my line. Okay, so this one sets the position right here, start position. Okay, so I'm going to take the start position and I'm going to see about offsetting it. A random mount. Okay, let's do a little random function. I could do an XYZ random amount. Yeah, I could do something like that and just add plus or minus to each one of those. That would give it just enough of an offset. I think that would do it, actually. That's the only thing I really need to do. Okay, so JavaScript random function. Let's see. Random whole numbers and JavaScript range. Okay, 2 numbers. Let's see what we got. Math floor, math random. If you want to get a random integer between 1 and 6, you would calculate. Okay, let's do that. But that's an integer. I don't need a. Oh, that's the floor part. Let's go. Zrand equals this. We'll make it between 1 and. I'm going to make it between 1 and 100, and the reason is because I'm going to divide it by 10 by the time it's done. That gives us some decimal points off also, so it won't be in the same position, just a little farther off. So we get this value, and then that, and divided by 10. Random is this, and I'm going to plus the random. I should make it randomly picking if it's negative or positive direction also, but let's start with that. I just want to see if we're not in the same position. Reload both the things. I'm starving for 2 hours now because that issue I had. Now I fixed it. I think I bought some. He bought me some luck. Brought you some luck. Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it. It's always good. Oh, he's still climbing, so he did not start in a different position. Hey, Eva, how you doing today? Okay, so it's still climbing, which means it did not randomly set in a different position, but I think I better double check my code. This may not be the only place it's coming in. Oops. Well, first thing I can double check is... I'll double check what this number is actually giving me. Okay, there we go with that. And in a few minutes, I'll have you guys help me test the chat out, because I want to try it with multiple chats going on at the same time. I believe I set it up so that the different chats would happen and they could happen next to each other and stuff, but we'll test that in just a minute here. If you give me a minute to start, then I'll send you a link and we can all test the chat. But I want to find out what happens with this. Just want to see if each random 6.7, okay, that should offset the point, and that's random 2.6. So they should not be in the same place, and yet when they come in, they're in the exact same place. Okay, so that's setting a random number, but that's not the number it's using at the time it's going. So let's see. I think I have another place where it actually loads it. Find out. Last position. Maybe I needed... I don't know. Hope my PC will not crash. What's happening, Eva? What's going on with your PC? Did you overload it? Okay, so we're taking a start position there. Say building, that has nothing to do with it. Community start position, save thing, start position. My avatar, load avatar, right here. This is where. This is when it finished loading. This is one of the instances. This is not the only instance. Okay. I'm going to try this in a couple places and see if we can't get ourselves offset here. That's why I said I knew it was going to be a couple places. If it was a 2-second fix, I'd have just done it. Can't handle it at the moment. Oh. Oh, definitely, Bookus, your VIP. Actually, Bookus, you should be a mod over here now. Yeah, you're mod on the back end with the Discord channel. You should be a mod. Let's see. There you go, Bookus. Got you all set. You can ban bots. The bots that I put in there, right? Yeah, ban them. I don't care. I know they're kind of annoying, but there was some times where I was playing the reruns and the darn things were helping actually. So I guess I'll trim them back. Don't worry about the bots. I'll trim them back. I'll make sure it's not doing too much. I don't play too many reruns anymore just because, well, before I was getting about 2 people a night playing a rerun. So it had a pretty good reason to do a rerun. But then it was kind of annoying my regulars like you guys. And I actually put a lot more power in you guys than I do you know, having some bots rerunning or trying to find new people, you know, so I'd rather have you guys be happy than some new person who might or might not stay. So, not that, you know, that's an issue or anything, but yeah. Okay, so now that I've done that, see, look, he's gotten this high up into the sky. That's the piece I'm fixing right now. Just a simple bug we're going to go ahead and take care of here. Let's see, randomly, is it going to be on the exact same location again, or are they going to be offset? I'm just checking here. Come on. Wait till my avatar shows up. I'm going to have NSFW stuff in my server. Ah, they're offset. Yay, that worked. Both facing the same direction, but neither one of them are on top of each other. That was the location we needed that. Okay, so this is where we needed the little random. It's basically random 1 through 10, but it's at a decimal point also. So that kind of helps a little bit there. And we will take it off of... Where was the other location I found it in the first place? Where'd it go? Okay, easiest way to find it. It's probably in this file also. That's probably why I moved away from it. Okay, finding files. This one's in the 308 range. 308 range, and here's the other one. Okay, we do not need it here anymore. We'll take it back out of that one. That one gets the definition and sends it to where it's going to be created, but whenever you return from being created, I'm actually updating the position to the most likely position at that time. So you're on top of someone, by the way. That's a piece I'm fixing. That's exactly the piece I'm fixing, and for the exact reason that I'm fixing it. So, okay, so now let's all see if we go to... there you are. You found the scene. Yeah, cool deal. And, okay, this bot back here happens to be my... So you ended up on top even with the other one there. They ended up in different positions. Well, I guess I could spread it out more than just 10. Or make it the whole numbers within 10 so that everybody's a certain offset. I can randomly... I could change it where it's not the same random number in each direction so that you're not just this you know, the same... Oh, because you know what? I did send it off. First of all, I do see a difference here. Okay, never mind. What I need to do is, first of all, Z position doesn't need an offset. And what I'll do is... I'll create a second one, rand 2, so we have a rand 1 and a rand 2, and this one will be our rand 2 in that direction, rand 1 in that direction, and then finally what I need is it's the easiest way to decide if it's going to be negative or positive. If I made it between 20 and then automatically subtract off 10, then some would be negative, some would be positive. Kind of like that idea. So we're now going to make this 200, and then in the end, we're going to minus 10. That'll recenter it, reset it to 0. And give us a... Okay, now we should have two numbers, random numbers, and they should automatically be positive or negative. That'll do it. Let's see what happens when I bring a couple more characters in here. So what are we working on today? The first thing I'm working on is when multiple people join into the same room. And hello, YouTube. How you doing today? But every time somebody else joins into the same room, what happens is if you start in the exact same position, you actually, it's actually the collision system is automatically making you both climb. And so you'll just sit there randomly and grow and grow and grow higher and higher and higher until you actually just go up into the sky. Till one of you moves and then you'll both drop to the ground. So basically what I've done is by setting it, oh, see, that doesn't make it go. I should have got an X and Y position. That's very funny that it ended up right in between. Okay, well, that just is probably just the offset there. But now what I've done is I've offset them so that they automatically do a little bit off on each side. The other thing I'm going to be doing is, okay, if I click on one of you, then I'm actually requesting a chat. So I think that's Bookus that I clicked on there. Okay, don't spend your... Okay, West. Oh, well, let me catch up on the chat here. Okay, so... I was going to stream soon, but I don't know. Oh, okay, I always get trolls there. Oh. Don't spend your energy on trolls. Do what you like. Yeah, I agree with that. There'll always be trolls. Okay. Ah, that worked. So just out of curiosity, is anybody else getting the chat that we're talking here? Are any of the other, are you guys seeing the chat in your screens? That's the first thing to check. Want to make sure it randomly created the different rooms. Yes, and I blocked the different scripting. I believe I blocked it pretty good. You're... Oh, okay, yeah. I see the chats. My PC gets very laggy on the website. Oh, anonymous. Let's see. Okay, let me make sure this is clear. Who did I click on? Who's the light green? Who's the light green avatar? Because you're all anonymous. So who's that right there? I'm that alien. Okay, Bookus. So Bookus, you're in the chat with me, correct? Okay. And then, let me see what happens if I click on, let's catch, I know who that is up there. Fuck around. Avoiding me. Okay, that started a second chat. And I believe I've got two chats going here now. Two separate windows. We'll see if I did that okay with the coding. All right, they're two separate chats. Yay, that's a good sign. Okay, cool, 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 cool. And if I close one out, closes back down to 1, I can close that out and back down to none. Okay, cool, 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 cool. Chat works, yay. That's the basics. Believe me, there's a lot on the back end I still have to write because I need to do some parent filters. I need to do some, I can still send messages. You won't be receiving them to me. I won't be receiving them because my window's closed. So even though it tries to send, it doesn't really do anything. It just kind of goes off in oblivion until you actually close the chat. Because you're technically still in the chat if you didn't close the window after I did. So... and you can basically send and receive messages. One of the things I'm going to block is that people that are anonymous are not going to be able to chat in the long run. A person who is, well, I don't know. Let's see. Admins are going to be able to pick on anonymous and do everything. But if you're not an admin or mod, then basically you're not going to be able to select on somebody that's anonymous. That's kind of where I'm heading with that. So... you won't receive them, but I'm able to send. Got it. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, right. Can you be an admin or a mod? You are. I just haven't set it in the scene yet because we haven't actually set them up in here. Right now, users, I don't even know what I've got. So far, it's just me and a couple others. That's just what I've got set up so far. So I haven't added the actual mod, the mod role to the site yet. We're still talking about that with Anonymous and Bocus. Yeah, we got that discussion going on back at the other in Discord. So we'll get something going there. Accept and accept. Cool. The other thing I might double check is make sure you can't start two different chats with the same. Well, I don't know. I don't want to block too much stuff yet because I'm still kind of like opening the door of what we can do with this functionality. Because what I want to be able to do is you've got two people in a chat. I want to be able to click a plus button and then select somebody and add them to an existing chat. So I want to be able to do that next. And so far I haven't set that up yet. So we'll get there. We'll get there. Still being infinitely requested. What is it? Menu on PNG is still being infinitely requested. Oh. Really? It is. Okay. Let me double check where that's going on. Because I definitely don't need that reloading. Let's find out where it's going in the code. Thank you, admin, on that one. Anything like that, if we can cut that out, then we definitely are going to be working a lot faster. That's interesting. Why are all four of these here being set as that? Why is toggle compass being in this one? It's happening there. Toggle arrows. I think the source can be blank if you turned it off. Oh, it's on and off for the menu item, but why are the toggling buttons being called over and over again? That's what I need to find out. Show FPS. Why is that in here? That shouldn't be happening every second. Yeah, good catch on that one, admin. I appreciate it. That's a good bug fix. Scam bots, right, of course. Taking my well-deserved dinner. Be right back. Oh, yeah, please. Go ahead and eat. Don't starve yourself. We need you. You got to eat. Nourishment. What's the name of the socket? Too many requests to find it. Each person has their own socket that they join, and it's created on the connection. So each person has their own socket and everything else. I can show you what a sample socket looks like, but that's about it. It starts with a / at and then some random big number. Weird, found it. Oh, you found it. Okay, good. Okay, so this piece right here, we do not need this happening every time. I'm showing the FPS, which means that's the piece I need, but I don't need this telling it every single second. And we don't need to set show a FPS when we already know it's 1. So that doesn't need to be there. I don't think I need any of this. Let me find out. I don't even need to tell it to show each time. There is a request every millisecond. Yeah, see, that's... I need to slow that down, actually. We don't need one every millisecond. I need to figure out how to throttle the sockets. It's okay for that the movement is automatically broadcasting per frames per second for everybody, but there's no reason for us to receive them that fast. Yeah, because that's going to bog down everything else that the system tries to do. It should be receiving around 30 frames per second, but because it's got the listeners are actually working faster than that. Yeah, I need to sync those maybe, so that you can set what it is, but every once a second it gives you the array of what you're doing and actually processes it. We could probably make the whole system run faster by doing that, huh? Wait, you still using Windows 7? Who, me? This is a server. This is a server on 2012 or 2014. Nah. Yeah, I can't spell it. Never mind. Yeah, it's definitely a server, so... Doing pretty good, Waffles, and congrats on your test yesterday. Awesome, on your interview. Yeah, congrats on that. Okay, so I don't think I need to show or hide it on every single frame. All I need to do is make sure that when they get switched to show or hide, it gets done on that level. So if I take that out of there and that out of there, let me see... Let me find out where the toggle version is of this. When it first loads, yeah, see, I'm showing it right there. Otherwise, it's hidden by default, so that's the onload. And this right here is the toggle, and I tell it to hide or show. There is no reason for it to be on every frame. The only thing I need on here, if it's telling it to show, is to read this value right here. That's the only thing I need in there, because then it tells it the frames per second, and ironically it slows you down while it's displaying that on every frame, or every, yeah. So, but check action zones. Why am I doing this in check action zones? The problem is check action zones only do it while you're moving, so it's not actually updating when you are not walking around. Don't need it on that one, don't need it on that one. Yeah, we're going to fix a couple things and see what we can speed up. And that's why we're here. We're just seeing what we can speed up. Oh, cool ideas for the multiplayer shop. Cool. Sounds good. Sounds good. I want to design a new loader so that when we load things from the other stuff, when we load the different big objects, because that's what's happening. We're loading some big objects and we get a lag as soon as they load. So I want to see about breaking those down in the code side so that you can still load the large object, but it'll break it down and only load so many meshes or faces within a frame. That's what causes a lag. So if we can break those down, then we can definitely defeat that. We should host a party in your shop on launch day. Yeah, I agree. That sounds cool. Well, we should do it on this whole scene or something. By the way, I wanted to take the reason I created this scene is because there was a handful of things I wanted to take out of the scene, and I wanted to see what we could do. Yeah, you left the chat. I'll go ahead and close that one. But see, if we walk around in here, there's a lot of cool things to see, and we can kind of perfect them. But at the same time, you don't have to worry about the ground taking up a lot of the scene. So, yeah, there's some cool stuff in here, though. If you walk down over here, for example, we got the music thing, and yes, you can mute it. So let me turn my mute button on so you guys don't have to listen to it through my desktop. Made a 3D... Wait, I'll join you. Okay, so right over here it comes. See these lags? I'm going to preload some of this stuff so that by the time you get to it, it actually is already in memory. That way they just load a lot faster. Will you make a 3D model of me? I will eventually. We'll get to that point once we can load custom models. But so far we can't load the custom models, so I didn't want to go spend any time on it. But we got a person behind the Java Juice bar. No, whatever we want to call it. Got a guy clapping for the music. We got we put a girl sitting on the stage over here. I just wanted some people in here. So yeah, so we got a couple different things in there. But yeah, we need to be able to load up the different things before we can do that. But the first thing is, like you said, this thing's loading every millisecond. I think I need to work on chopping that down a little bit just so that it's not trying to do it so fast. But yeah, we are getting there. But we need everybody's custom avatars for sure. I mean, it's cooler when everybody can log on and do it. But I got to write the global login. I'm going to create one global login so no matter what site you go to, you can click to use your global logon, and it'll automatically it'll allow you to grab your login and your, because I'm not going to write the global or the custom avatars from the local systems at this point. You want to fly as a dragon? Well, we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll open up some moves and different things. But did you see our other deadhead avatar over here? Where is he going? There he is. He actually plays the video games. I want to make it where you can walk up to the games and actually play them. So, like, you come over here and all of a sudden you click on a ball and then you get the option to aim a little bit, and then you click a button and it'll throw it. That's what I want to do. Or you even click on him and he'll throw the ball. And you can do like how long you hold the button down to how strong you throw it or something. I don't know. We'll do some things like that. We'll have some fun with that and make it do it. So, yeah. But I want to be able to play the game. Hello. Welcome. Yeah. So we want to be able to play those games. Notice, I also want to create one scene that while we're streaming, I want to be able to stream and have it look like a drive-in theater, and everybody can walk up there and actually watch it in 3D and walk around and chat while you are watching the stream. So not only can we stream it in Twitch, but I want to be able to stream that way too. Yeah, hey, Bookus. Yeah, okay. Hey, gotcha. And wait, that's me. Will we get paid for this? At some point, I'm going to hire some people and stuff. Otherwise, I'll pay you in perks at the time. And some of the stuff, if you end up contributing a lot, I'll figure out a way to do. Quit molesting me. No. Okay, so yeah, and then we can even play the video. See, that works while we're walking around. Pretty cool, huh? I love seeing everybody walking around in the scene. We got to get rid of the lag, and the lag is happening because of the loading, so I know where it's happening. It's not happening because of the people walking around in the scene, so I'll continue to work on that, and we'll get that taken care of. We'll get paid for being an admin or a mod? No. At this point, we're not at any point where we can do anything like that. We're not at any point to do that for anybody at this point, and then it'll be more about getting paid for helping code at this point. Okay, so we got the store going in here. Pretty cool. And notice that when I walk through the door, it opened the door, and you guys can see it in your screen. So I did fix that. That is working now. Okay, so where am I? We get the frames per second out of there. Do the frames per second work? Right now I have them off, so let me turn them on. Frames per second, and they're working and doing just fine. It's changing. Notice the mold count is there, 353 molds right now. And as I walk away, it should dramatically, well, I just changed it, added a couple more things walking this way. Let me walk away from everything. 261, there we go. We're losing some. And 228. Let me back away from the scene. See how many more I can get to disappear here. 184, 161. Still a lot of molds loaded. Oh, that's a bunch of avatars too, though. The avatars aren't going to disappear from the scene. I don't have them disappearing even if you walk a far distance away. So right now, it looks like, with the exception of the mountains, roads, and major scene, 145 And then when I walk up, I'm loading up the rest of that stuff. Hello. Run and jump. Okay, we can do that. It's all desert. Yep. As far as you run, it's going to be all desert out there. Okay, back up. Still pointing at the tooltip. Will stay on or the mouse for a bit. If you have a pointer or on a button for the TV, if you back up while still pointing, the tooltip will stay on your mouse for a bit. Oh, okay, so it doesn't know that it disappeared. Let's call that a bug report. Let's see if I can repeat that here. Okay, so we got that, and now I'm... Oh, I see what you're... Yeah, because we're no longer in that same position. So it waits for me to move my mouse. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to have to... I think I need to make it on move. It clears or rechecks it. Because right now it's only the mouse movement that's triggering it. Okay, I get what it is. Yeah, that's not a difficult fix. All we got to do is tell it to recheck mouse pointers on move. Think about that one. Okay, well this is going to be a permanent change here. We do not need to show the FPS every single time. We don't need to show those objects, which does speed it up because we're not checking them on the zones anymore. Well, Eva, you can learn coding if you want. Okay, share some images with us. Learn the basics first. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Got to start somewhere. Okay. Yep, and how will you make a website, right? Exactly. Okay, of the dashboard, right, I want to host a website for free. Well, you got to be able to work on them too, so we'll get you there. Okay. Need to think of an idea without coding. Well, there's minimum coding on everything. Everything you do, there is some coding. Even if you write a blog, you can use coding to help some HTML just to help fancy up what you're writing. So, and use WordPress and with a little bit of HTML. Then when you get used to the HTML, then you can do some JavaScript so that things can happen even better. Yeah, it just goes from there. It goes from there. Look, yeah, right now we're recruiting people that want to help code or do coding and stuff because that's where we're going to get the most changes and the most updates in here. Okay, so since we fixed that, I am going to drop that. Remove the... Just make myself a note here. Okay, the check action zone. Check action zones function had code to set the FPS counter. I should say has code to set the FPS counter, but display image and you don't want to code at the moment. Okay, everybody to their own. Everybody teach their own. Okay, display image and style. Oh, that's FPS counter, not FLS. Okay, and we remove the extras to improve the FPS. Yeah, works for me. Cool. And every time I do these, I just write them in here so that I remember what was done on the code. And then I will update that to the source, to the site. with that description attached to it. So that's just what I do. Okay, so YouTube, you were mentioning a couple of things. What did you find? Okay. What was the other one you just mentioned? I know you said something here. Oh, the pointer on the TV button. Okay. So what needs to happen is, I think if we move or we need to recheck the hover, let's glance at that and find out what's going on there. We added the random position here too. I forgot. Let me title that in here too. This is update number 10 and okay. In multiplayer, when user joins a scene, the avatars were colliding, causing them to rise until moved. Added a random offset to the starting to the starting point to avoid this condition. There we go. Okay, so we fixed two things already. Yay! And the crowd goes wild. No. You don't have to go wild. How do you make mods for games or whatever to use? You use to do. Oh, okay, I got you. Okay, let's see. I know Waffles. Definitely making basic site for my IT course at the moment. It's so easy. Yeah, I know. It's all words. Yeah, it is. Basically everyday words. It's just like anything else, Eva. If you do it every day, the words for coding become as easy as the words you speak. You just have to do it and stick with it to actually make a habit out of it so that it becomes real easy to you. And then the more you do it, the more additional coding becomes easy. So just letting you know, once you start accepting it, it's almost like learning a foreign language. You'd start with just a few words and you get used to using them. Then you try to add a few more, then you add a few more, and it just keeps on building until you know the other language. Same thing for a programming language. Okay, so we did those two. Now it's time to fix the other problem, and that was in, I'm going to show you, we have these inputs, and one of the things we do in the input is when we move. Key down, touch, key up, mouse click, mouse right, mouse down. I got all these, mouse up, and mouse move. So when we do the mouse move, we're looking for if it has related to any movement of your avatar. Then we say set tooltip location. So this one happens there. I think if I put this, there's two places. If we do this on rotate or scroll will get it, because when we set the scroll, well, that did move the tooltip location. That wasn't the issue. It didn't check to see if it needed to hide or show it. Well, let's find out. Okay. We have someplace here that is actually telling it to show or hide it. That gets the offset, so it's always on the screen, but it's offset for whatever movement you do on the screen. So it doesn't, I don't want it sitting directly under your cursor, because then if you try to click something, you're clicking the tooltip. I always put it just a fraction up so that you're always, or fraction offset so that you're not right on top of it. There's the tooltip style, the offsets. This is not doing the hide or show. I need to backtrack that. Let's find out when it hides or shows it. Mainly when it shows it. Okay, so in here we're showing it. When we say show tooltip, how funny. That would be ironic. Okay, so check tooltip. That's all fine. Is that the only time I'm turning it on? Yes, it is. Okay, that's the only time I'm turning it on is right here. So the next one would be when I'm calling this. I'm just backtracking a couple steps here to figure out which part we do when we find that. That's all fine. So let's say, okay, that's all fine. Those are hard-coded. That's the only one we're actually doing. So it has to come through here. When am I checking the tooltip? We're doing it once from within its own part, and here we're doing it on the check hovers. Okay, so check hovers in turn is, I finally backtracked it. I think we got it here. Probably could eliminate two of these functions since they're only being called by one other function. We'll have to look at that later on. That's not my priority right at the moment, but it is definitely something we could do. Okay, so the check hovers happens here, and it's in the input, mouse over mold. Okay, so we're checking the mold, and it's because we moused over it. Yeah, which this one happens as we move the mouse. I think I know where I'm heading here. This one happens every second, which means we should be getting the updates. It should be triggering that we're no longer over the mouse. This one should have worked on its own. That's the trick here. See, mouse over mold is actually running. It happens on every, when on pointer over trigger. And if it's already hovering something else, I need to allow it to hover the other item. So I don't want to just, well, let me try this first. Let's send a null and see what that does. By the way, there's more things than just the TV that are going to have these little tags, you know, the alt tags that show up and stuff. So I want to make sure that I'm catching it for all the places. Okay. Cannot read property mesh under pointer of null. Okay. Check. Check covers. Mold. Because I'm not checking to see if mold is null. Okay. If mold is not equal null, which if I'm doing this, why don't I just reset the darn thing, huh? I think that's a better solution. Instead of saying check hovers null, we can actually reset hovers. That's exactly where I'm trying to do it. Check tooltip. And hide tooltip. That's the function I want. Let's go ahead and just hide it, and see what happens. We're going to tell it to hide the tooltip when you move, and it'll either reopen. We're going to find out. Okay, loading the scene. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. And come on. Load it up. Should be in a random position. There it goes. Need to make it where the ground shows up first, the avatar second, and then the rest of the scene, so that you're not sitting here where it's rendering other avatars and I haven't even got my avatar yet. So maybe that's the next thing I'm going to work on, because then it'll feel fast no matter what. Faster is to have your own avatar show up in the scene right away. Okay, so jumping over here, loading up some of this stuff. Okay, so now if I put my mouse over that and it says play, I'm still backing away and it didn't do it. Did it not reset hovers because I never moved my mouse? I need... Yeah, it didn't reset hovers because it didn't detect that I moved my mouse. But moving your mouse and... I know what it is. I know a way to do it. We need to... See, we have this code for moving the mouse over. That happens, like I said, every second. I think we can figure this out. See, that happens on pointer over trigger. See, it's only triggering when it moves. The only way to fake or re-trigger that is to add another instance of when that happens. So when the mouse goes over the mold, it's the same thing as when I do an on-click and I check where we're going with it. See, mouse move. We do a pick based on the mouse movement. So if I took this right here, because we already know where the mouse movement is. And then combine that into the movement first of all. I know we took one thing out of here and now I'm going to put something back into it. Not the move avatar. Is it only when I move my avatar? Yes. It only happens when I move my avatar. So if I took this in here, and I'm basically checking what's under the mouse pointer again, and if there is something still under the pointer, then I'm going to tell it to run the code right here, mouse over mold, and that should do it. Manually change my color on the console. You're actually changing the color of the manually change your avatar color in the console. You're actually updating the, you know what, I'll show you in just a second. Let me finish my thought here. This would be picked mesh, copy that, mouse over mold is this. Now I think that should cover with any movement. Let's find out. I need to work on this loading thing so that my avatar shows up before anything else, right? Here it goes. Now my avatar's... I also need to make the camera face the direction you're going to show up in there. Oh, see, I'm rising up. Okay. Oh, it's bouncing all over the place. See, it's showing other avatars in the scene before it even does mine. Okay, so we need to... I'll fix that. Okay, if I come over here, one fix at a time, and I put my mouse over something and I back up, oh, it's not checking it again. It should automatically check that every instant, and it should know that the mouse is no longer over that button. Now that didn't work. As soon as I move my mouse, it's done. How about I manually tell it to move my mouse just a fraction and back. Give it a jitter. No, that'll make it do it all the time, and I don't want it to do it all the time. It's only on move when Let's see. I don't know why that didn't work. Well, I need to think about that one a little bit more. I haven't found a solution for that yet. Okay, how do you manually change avatar color in the console? Here's the deal. If you look at developer tools, and if you're logged in as admin on the site, I know. List objects, list current meshes. What happens is this. First of all, your avatar is a number of different meshes. Beginning with my avatar, and then it has this instance number, and then it mentions things like shoes, and then there's one for default, which would be his skin, by the way, eyes, tops, all this stuff is in here. That object there, if you pull that mesh in the scene, then you do the name of the mesh dot, or the mesh itself dot material, then dot, you can get to the color schemes, which are the diffuse colors. But here's the deal. I've got a function for that, of course. Find avatar color. I think it's a function called set color. No, that isn't it. I'm going to have a ton of colors in here. This is not good. Let me find out if any of them... Knew there was a bunch of them. Load avatar, basic colors, okay. Babylon. I don't want to keep the Babylon sections open. Let's just close those. Mesh writer, socket, engine, backups. Can't wait to wait to your 3D website. Yeah, edit avatar colors. Thank you. Yeah, so what it's doing is okay, so in this particular one, first of all, it grabs the avatar part, which is the name of that piece, just like I showed you. It's the name of the avatar plus the part it is. So if it's like shoes, or if it's pants, or tops, or bottoms, or whatever they call it in the list. Whatever the avatar mesh is called, it's the addition of my avatar and then your instance number right there, which is always labeled, your own instance is always in that text box there. So it's really easy to grab. And then after that, you're looking for material, and it's emissive color. Let's see, that's always white. No, this is not where I'm setting them. This is where I am. Here it is. Okay, so this function, set avatar color. The color group is basically if it is, think about that one. Diffuse, specular, and emissive. Yeah, the color group is going to be one of these, diffuse, specular, or emissive. In this particular case, I believe we're only doing diffuse colors for the avatars themselves. And then it goes in, and we are setting the value. Here, doing the same thing. We're setting the, this is what, this is setting a blank in the screen. This is setting the actual object. So we're setting diffuse color and then hex to string. We're basically, okay. Here's the mold, which would be your avatar. Then you'd have the material, and then diffuse color, and then it sets to an RGB value, basically, yeah, so red, green, blue value. That's how I'm setting the colors on top of what they do. This doesn't affect that it already has a texture already loaded also, so you can change the color, and it just changes the tint of the texture instead of changing both. Why is... in this case, I'm not passing, instead of avatar color, I'm not passing the mold name, which would be the item that you're trying to change colors on. I'm just setting if you want to change the diffuse, specular, or emissive color on it. So what happens is, since I'm not passing that value, what you would have to do is set this value first to what you want it to be, which would be the name of the item, and then set the avatar color. I could make it past that value so that you can actually just say what you're going to set, but and then put that, this particular value, I can have it coming in on each one that you do for every time you call the function, and just put it on that end of it instead of in here, and it would do effectively the same thing. So just so you know, that is how it's doing it. This is changing the values of where it's doing the administration so that it can write the values back to the database after you change it. But if you don't run that process to actually save it, which would be... I'm not telling it to run it right here. It's probably when I tell it to do this. I set the avatar color, and then I tell it to save it to the database is what's happening. So it goes here, and then, by the way, here's the color picker that I load up in Edit Avatar Part. That's the color picker panel and everything. Save avatar. Oh, I'm doing the emissive colors. Those are the ones I'm doing. So that's the ones I'm changing right now. Otherwise, save avatar color, and it'll automatically save when you move on to something else every single time. Save avatar color will go through, do exactly that. Writes it back to the database using the handlers that we created. Hope that answers your question. Okay, so now let's see. What are we doing? I still haven't fixed this other issue. When you move, I'm not triggering the process to clear, but the mouse over mold, it should have rechecked that. I guess I could write a process that checks is pick array based on the pointer and check to see if that mold that is currently under the pointer is still under the pointer. If not, I can trigger mouse out. Because I'm not getting... Because it's not the mouse movement that's triggering it, it's never doing this particular part. And since, yeah, but I do know what it is because current, this global variable here is the current ID. Okay, let me try a new one here. We're going to create a function. We're going to call it is mouse over mold, and we're going to give it mold name. We can pass in the variable that it's doing, and then we're going to check to see. That would make sense if we can pull that off. Then I can check that at any time. If it's not over that mold still, then we trigger that mouse out, telling it what mold it's no longer attached to. Then, why do I have a mold going through on mouse out? It is what mold it left, but I never actually call it here. Okay. No problem. I can handle that. Put this in place right here. And first thing I'm going to do is double check and make sure it's actually firing off this command by doing current ID is the one that it last known hover over. So take this and let me spit it off to the screen. Name equals. Okay, that should give us enough of a test condition. Let's see what happens. It started in the ground. Did I randomly tell it to move the two wrong pieces? I think yes, I did. Okay, let me fix that. When I told it to randomly come into a scene, one of the things I did was, let's check where this one is. It should be right here. Okay, I did this on the wrong thing. I don't want Y value to go underground or above ground. I need it to be the Z value. There we go. Quick fix, done. Oh, why didn't I refresh? I didn't need to refresh. I can recheck that anyway, but that explained why I was never off center. I was either forward or behind, but I was never off center. It's because randomly I was going into the ground or above the ground. Figures. Just a little fix here. Okay. I do want to make it where it loads the avatar right after loading the scene. So I need to... Yeah, I think I can put a delay in there so it won't load till the avatar is loaded. Oh, if it's not... It should not be loading those objects until it is loading anyway. Okay. Now, just double checking. Don't you love this when the animations aren't finishing loaded? Here they come. Do. Come on, finish loading. Okay, it says it's over the play button. Now if I back up, it still says over the play button, which is what I expected it to do. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is we're going to do the get mesh under mold. We're going to do this mesh under pointer. Where do we pull the mesh under pointer? I do it on the mouse down. Here it is. Okay, pick mesh equals that. I don't need that. I just need okay. That might have been my flaw before. Okay, we're going to fix it right now. Copy that. We're going to fix this. Here we go. This, I don't need that because I'm not telling it to make up one if it didn't have one. Go here. And it is going to be pick results, pick under mesh, if pick mesh mold picked mesh dot name is not equal to mold name, then it is a false right there. And if it didn't pick a mesh, then it's also false here. So let's start with our z under equals, and let's make it true. And then we'll put z under equals false here. And we're going to do that same thing right here. And if z under equals false, then it's going to mouse out mold. And mold is never used, so I can throw a null in there without any problem. And pass a null. Okay, now it's going to know that it moused out when it's no longer underneath it. So let's find out what happens there. Oh, I shouldn't have left the hover. Okay, that's fine. Ba-dum-bum-bum. We're getting there, we're getting there. Like I said, I need to make my avatar load right after the ground does. Then you load my avatar, and then I may even have some splash screen that loading or something before it initializes the scene, so that you don't, I don't know. We'll see. I need to do something with that, though. I think it'd be a little bit more professional. Okay, got my avatar loaded, running over here where I know I've got to hover over. It's going to lag like crazy there. We're going to fix that. Don't worry, don't worry. Figure it out. Okay, so now... Oh, now it's not doing the hover over at all. How... Well, that ain't gonna help. If molding is not blank, I think that's the condition where we're running into trouble here. I don't even want to do anything or leave or do. I don't want to even make this happen until there's something underneath it. Let's see what that does. I'm going to do some math trickery to make you fly in the direction your camera's pointed. Do you think the camera controls are good enough for this? Well, the biggest issue you're going to run into is if you fly too fast, you're getting into the action zones, the load zones, and it's not giving them a chance to load. It will, if you pass through one and get out the other side before it loads, it will cue it to unload it, so it does process and cancel the loading if it hasn't even started yet. So there are some things I have in place that if it queues up and it doesn't actually happen yet, but you, by speeding things up even faster, you have more likely going to get a lag of things that I'm trying to control and practice loading at a certain speed. So you're actually being counterproductive to the loading as you walk thing. Even me, with me running right now, it's basically not giving it the time to load the items, but see, I still get a lag because it's loading the next thing before the last thing was even finished loading. Now, there's some stuff I can do to kind of help that along, but that's kind of where that's at. Okay, so that doesn't do it. I think I don't need this one because I'm telling it if it doesn't find it. So I'm saying if you find a mouse under the pointer and it's not that one, but if you don't find a mouse under the pointer, it should be mouse out anyway. Yeah, see, the building doesn't get a chance to load because you came flying in so fast, you never gave it that instance. As it is, I'm trying to push the limits of how fast we can load them and move around and get there and stuff. So we've constantly, every time I get it where it works smooth, then I turn around and speed up the avatars, and then I keep on working on making it more efficient at that speed. So it's kind of just one of those things that I'm still working on. Once I get the buildings loading faster, for example, the breakdown so it doesn't try to load so many meshes in every single frame, then it won't lag. So I need to break it down into multiple frames to assemble a building instead of all in one piece. That's where I'm actually getting the lag. So that's doable. That's something that I have worked on and I can get to work. I just need to finish. I just need to completely get there going, and I just need to keep on adding to it. It'll happen. So now this function right here happens to be killing. I want to see when this is getting called, because we shouldn't have a mouse out unless it's this particular condition. And I want to... No, that isn't what it needs to be. It doesn't need to be blank. Mold name means that it did mold over something, and then the picked results. What if the picked results... I want to see... Let's not mouse out. Let's just understand what we're hitting here. Just call it mold name since it's going to be the same thing if it got that. Oh, wait a minute. It's not equal to mold name. It's not null and it's not equal to mold name, and mold name isn't blank. That would have... What is it picking? I want to see if it changes as I move. That's what I do want to see right now. Okay, we're going to double check this. Did you ever message me the code to turn building collisions off? You know what? I'll double check that after we're done today. Let me make a note for myself, because I know I've got code to turn the collisions off. I used to run it. Let's see. Basically, you cycle through all the meshes that you want, and you basically set it to .check collisions equal false. That's bottom line. I think I may have sent that to you in the actual chat, YouTube. It might be over in the chat on one of those, yeah, in Discord. But okay, so for here, let me get over to this location. I know what I should do is I should just set the location over here instead of having to run over here each time. I'm in the admin. All I got to do is click the button. Okay, let me see. Back it up. I want to be about there. Start. And options and settings. Set starting position. Use current position. Done. There we go. Okay, so now it does say play. And when I back up, it's not even triggering. There's nothing happening here. Okay. Okay, so let's find out why it's not triggering. I want to see if, first of all, if this whole process is happening. Just see the word set. Sometimes that's all we need to know it's working. First, see if this happens when I move. Then I'll see what happens next. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Okay, and see, because of a little random difference, and the direction should turn. But I'll be a little closer this time, it looks like. Okay, that's fine. go as far as it was before. So set is happening. That function is happening. Does it happen every second? Yes, it does. I only want it to happen when I move. I don't see any reason to... Well, if I rotate the screen, it has to happen too. Do I really want that in the process? I'll think about it. I'll figure out where else to put it if once I get this working. So it's there, and let's see if it comes in here. Just walking it through the code, trying to see where it's tripping it up. I should be able to get this to load right when I'm at a certain point. Could go to another scene that doesn't load so much. That would be a little faster, huh? Okay, we've got a play button, and it does say set, and when I move, yeah, well, of course it's going to say set. So we do have the value showing up through there, because mold name is not blank. Let's see. Let's put this right here. Name on the pointer. Let's see if we got a name that we're comparing it against. Not seeing a name. Pick mesh is not null. Scene pick. What's under the pointer? Let me see. Let's check these values. They should have a value here. If it's never next, it should never be false. It should always be true. And we should never mouse out. We should have always had... That's pretty weird. I'm not using any global variables, so I didn't set anything I shouldn't. More curious why it didn't show up. We're getting there, we're getting there. Okay, so every time I move my mouse, it moves the values, which I expected. So I put it there, and when I go back, I'm not moving the mouse, so I'm not triggering any... Not triggering the catch on that. I got another possibility here. How about Stack Overflow? How about trigger a mouse move event? Oh, wait a minute. On mouse move, why don't I just look at the init? When I do move a mouse, basically I'm telling it to just run mouse move. So if I tell it to run mouse move, send it without event. We'll find out. Trying to trigger a mouse move when it's not moving. That way we can tell it to bring it down. Oh, cannot read client X of undefined. Oh. Move it in here. What if I stored the last mouse movement? That wouldn't work well. See, there is no window event because I'm not capturing a window event. So none of this E is going to work. But what am I really trying to run? The only thing I'm changing is the tooltip location. And I tried this already. That moves the tooltip, which is still functioning, that is still working. It's the opening and closing that didn't work. Okay, well, you know, I seem to be talking in circles here. That doesn't work trying to do, you know, force a mouse move when you don't have the mouse event, obviously. When I do this, for some reason, it isn't finding the item under the mouse, which is what I would have expected it to do. It does have the position of the mouse, but when it checks pick results, scene pick, what is it finding? Nothing. See if it gives me an object or if it's a... Let's find out. See if it says null or if it's an object that it found. Trying to number things here. Seem to be running up against a brick wall. Thanks, YouTube. No, just kidding. Now you pointed out something that's an error. I'm working on it. That's not an issue to me. Can always point out what's going on, doing little things, fix them as I can. Okay, so this happens because I move the mouse, but when I move, it's still saying set is null. Wait a minute. Why is set null when it is over an object? There's a ton of things in this scene. It even knows when it's over those objects. Okay, well, we'll have to add it to the issues list. I don't see any near future edition that's going to fix this little thing. I really thought I was going to be able to grab a pick results, but I guess it didn't pick because it didn't click. That's the weirdest thing. Mouse under pointer. It should have automatically picked whatever's at that location, and I'm not sure why it didn't. See, pick scene is okay. Current is what it's currently over. Oh, is that where I'm making a mistake? I think I am changing what it's currently over based on when we move. Well, then current ID shouldn't be blank. Picked current ID. Name is that. Okay, now where is it being set? No, so no, that's what I'm doing. Mold mesh under pointer. Well, that's exactly what I was trying to do. That's on the mouse over. Huh. Okay. Well, that's not giving me any clues. Yeah, I think I'm on the right path, but the problem is the scene did not pick what's at that location properly. And because of that, it didn't... It should have been able to pick what's underneath the pointer. I've done this before. And then if it did, it would have had an object or not, but then it would have been able to compare the name of that object versus the name that we expected it to be under here. Is it because the mold name changes the second I move the mold? Well, I'm not seeing a solution at this moment. We're going to keep on looking at that particular thing and see if we can't make it do something here in the future. I'm going to remark that out for the moment. And yeah, we'll mark out this whole thing at the moment. Yeah, I'll come back and take a look at that. Okay, well, let's see. I haven't had any lunch and it's now 1 o'clock, so I'm going to go ahead and get some lunch, and I want to thank y'all for watching. And if you want to join me, you can catch me on Discord and we'll go ahead and figure out what's going from there. But I'll be continuing to fix some bugs and see if we can speed this whole process up, especially the loading, get rid of that lag that we're dealing with, and yeah, we'll keep on building. So I will see you in Discord. Thank you for watching.